the party.
What is going on? Party Nerds are back 2020. All right, so there's a lot to talk about. 2000. Well, when did the MCU officially start? With what movie was it? The Hulk was first, right?
Nah,
Iron Man first.
2008 probably.
No, I think the Incredible Hulk with
Oh yeah, because they
Ed
popped
Norton
up. Because they popped up at the end.
Technically, was the first.
Man, fuck that.
I know it don't count, but we're going back. So what year was that?
2008. Fuck that.
2008.
So 2008 is when
Phase 1.
Phase 1 of what we know it as the MCU began. Now, no, before that, we did have like the X-Men films, which were great and all, but this
Which was what?
great. X-Men was for its time. In retrospect,
Okay, I'll give you that.
No. In retrospect, it was trash. What the fuck are you talking about?
When you were young and you first saw
Guess
X-Men,
what?
you were not like, yo,
Guess
this
what?
is the shit.
Guess what? To see anybody be Wolverine,
Right.
To see anybody, that doesn't mean it was good. It meant that I was starving. Because guess what? If you motherfucking didn't eat in a week, and I came to you with a motherfucking candy bar that I dipped underneath my balls.
Okay.
Right?
Still eat it.
Listen,
you would still eat it.
Listen.
You would still eat it happily because you're hungry as fuck and you'll dig in trash cans.
Listen, I don't know why you talk about Nestle's balls, but all I'm saying is this. Back when that movie was out, back in the day when it came out, it was the shit because this is the first time, like you said, we saw Wolverine, we saw Storm, we saw all these characters. Now, thinking back on it, obviously, compared to where movies have gone, we're always going to be like, yo, new stuff is better, but it was good. It was great during this time. So,
But it wasn't until the great and masterful Marvel started this thing called the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Exactly.
Something that ages well because we're sitting here talking about a 2008 movie, right? In 2020.
Shit's
right?
still hot.
And and the way that we feel about it is like, yo, that joint was fire still, right? So we're talking about 12 years later. But if we went back to X-Men #1 and we fast forward 12 years from there to 2012 or whatever, 2013, something like that, we knew that shit was trash by 2013.
Oh my god.
We knew it. We knew it.
Did not age well.
We knew we could do better.
We did do better, but the whole point of it is being that so the MCU, it started a trend of connecting movies. Like you always had sequels.
Yeah.
You always had like back in the day you had like Batman, the sequel to Batman. I'm talking the Michael Keaton ones. You had Superman with Christopher Reeve, Superman 2, then they got progressively worse. But
he peeled the S off of his chest and threw it at somebody and they wrapped up in it.
Like Saran wrap.
He saran them.
He never used that power before.
When you have Richard Pryor? Oh, no.
Man, we all love Richard Pryor, but all that's just to say, like during we've seen the evolution of the MCU and it just get better and better. So what tonight's topic is pretty much going to be right now that we've been through all these glorious Marvel years of great movies. I mean, even some of the worst movies were not horrible. They were just not as good as the other ones. So
Correct.
my question to you guys and tonight on the show, what we want to talk about is where can the MCU take it from here? Do you see the next phase getting better? Can they outdo what they did, like actually connecting the stories, like we said?
No.
So you see it getting worse?
Yes.
I say yes, too.
Yes.
As
No
horrible
way.
as it is for saying.
No way. So what I'm saying is when you're so high up,
Only one place to go?
The fall isn't going to be all the way back down.
Right.
So I'll still be satisfied with a 30% drop off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll still be cool with it.
But Marvel has so many characters, so many storylines.
Absolutely.
This is my point. The reason I think it can go against the grain, normally I would agree with both of you guys, but in this case, I actually think they can do better. I actually think they can now. I think that you have Kevin Feige and people behind the scenes that kind of seen what they've done right and wrong and be like, you know what? Now the problem I see is the fans, because the more it's almost just like when you start giving your kid, you start spoiling your kid, giving them toys. What's going to happen after a while? He's going to expect it. Like, I want this because you've programmed your kid. That's us as fans. And look, I'm guilty of it. It's just like, oh, okay, MCU, let's see what you do with the Eternals. If it's off by the slightest bit, like, that's nothing. Do you feel me? That's the only problem. So the problem is us, not the actual projects.
But the people don't count. The people that know who the Eternals are do not count.
Why would you say that?
That takes me out of the equation.
They don't count.
But did anyone
Because
know who the Guardians of the Galaxy were?
Exactly. So the people that knew about Guardians of the Galaxy don't count. You know who counts? The brand new people that watch Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's what they're trying to get.
This is fucking fire. If a person watched it and said, that's not Guardians, they're a small niche group of people.
The gatekeepers.
No one gives a fuck. Fuck them. They're not the billion people that go to the movies to watch this shit. So when you talking about, the Guardians of the Galaxy, when you're talking about anything, Nova Corps, when you talk about anything that's an obscure thing in comic books, the true comic book fan no longer counts. The MCU is not for the comic book fan. It's for the big world.
It's basically built for 16-year-olds and people in China.
But so then my question to you would be, then why do you think it's only going to get worse? I mean, worse in the eyes of people our age. Like, one thing we got to remember is we might be older even than some of our audience watching this. So a younger generation is now going to come into this next phase. So they're going to come in now, just how we looked at, oh, this Iron Man 1 is dope, or this and that. They're going to be looking at like, oh, this Eternals, man, that kicked off, or the Black Widow, whatever it is now. Like, what's to make you think that we're not looking at it biased?
I looked at the first 3 phases of the MCU, and I saw them bringing in the most popular characters that Marvel had to amass. And then within 10 years, we don't have Iron Man anymore. We have an emasculated Hulk. Thor is disheveled and fat. Captain America is old and withering. I mean, Thor might come back as All-Father.
Captain America is, he's a rap for him.
And he passed the torch to Falcon, who was a subliminal character.
But the funny thing is, the whole idea of the multiverse coming in, and this is where it gets interesting, they can literally change all that. They can literally recast people and make it.
Once you add in multiverse and shit like that, it takes away the actual danger of a person dying. Right. It starts making it like, oh, there's just another version of him in world.
Oh, you mean like comic books?
Correct. And like I told you, comic book people are a niche. Mm-hmm. The grand scale of the world don't want that bullshit. They want characters that they could say he can die and he's gone. Not, oh, this is another Wolverine from a different dimension and he could come here and then there's going to be this implosion or incursion.
Right.
Man, they don't want none of that, bro.
It's basically saying within the next 10 years, if Peter Parker was to die and then all of a sudden Miles Morales pops up out of nowhere, is that going to be received well?
We would love it.
We would. I think that shit would be fine.
I think that Miles Morales is your best hope.
Exactly.
That for this, like, that's a little bit different because Miles Morales has really been introduced.
Well, I don't understand. Why would you say that? And when we have yet to see the X-Men or Fantastic Four, why Miles?
Okay. So when we're talking about the dimensions thing, right? Miles Morales has already been introduced in a very successful movie.
Yes,
people love him already.
Yes.
They're waiting to see a real life Miles Morales that they could put in there and that they would accept if Peter Parker died right now. Yep. And then it's like, well, we got the new Spider-Man that we fuck with. As long as they cast that right kid, now they got this black Puerto Rican kid and he's dope to them. I can see him still working. The issue with these other characters are we watch these characters appear and have origin stories when the world didn't know about superheroes, right?
Correct.
Now all the characters we're going to see is in a post we know about superheroes world. It's just a little bit different feeling than the.
But to me, that's all writing, man. You can make that work. You can make it because of these events. Like, let's say hypothetically, they bring in Professor X, and now that mutants are a big thing. Looking at all the destruction that all these movies have done to the world, the snap or the blip, everyone coming back. Now that gives you a reason for this whole discrimination against these type of people. Because if this world was real, now people are gonna be like, they might kill us.
So,
you know what I mean?
So we talked about this on a prior show. How do you do Magneto without him being a World War II?
Right. Without that origin story that made him
without that origin story of him being
a Holocaust survivor
in the Holocaust and going through what he's going through, because he can't be that anymore because that's so long ago. So now you have to move it up to a newer tragedy, or make up one. Make
him Magneto.
No, so that's where that's the first part that's going to piss people off.
Absolutely.
Is when
he can manipulate plastic.
It's because when he's Magneto and he's a black dude because in our time period, people that look like me are the motherfuckers that are in trouble. Not,
much.
you know what I'm saying? Not the Jewish guy. They running shit. I salute y'all. Y'all doing y'all motherfucking thing.
That was racist, Devin.
How's it?
edit that out.
It's racist to tell a person they running shit?
Oh, I thought you meant like running away. Okay, sorry.
Running away, they fucking own everything.
Right, that's true. No, you go, Jews.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, at this point, because I know we got to get ready to wrap it up, but I still think that moving forward, like obviously we're all looking forward to it, but I think there's hope for the MCU for them to really. Now, the weird thing is this phase right here, because it's not like they have the Eternals you don't know about, Black Widow movie. All right, cool.
Shang-Chi,
don't know about. So it's like they're really coming into this next phase, rolling the dice, as opposed to coming in now. Here's a Fantastic Four, or here's it. Like they could have done that,
But rather than having like an AntMan, which was like a filler movie, they have all these filler episodes that they're going to use through.
But is that
Disney
smart?
Plus.
Is that smart? Bringing
That's
in
the
these
thing.
nobodies. We're not nobodies.
But
I'm
that's
sorry.
the thing. We don't know because we've never done streaming before, ever.
And tying into the movie.
Well, then, so like Defenders, Netflix, they, at least that's what gave Disney Plus the idea. Let's take this to streaming and let it be known it was the success of the Marvel characters on Netflix.
Even that was like a big debacle. Like, however, the timeline lined up and they had a perfect Daredevil.
Yes, they did.
Perfect Daredevil. I would say a fucking perfect Luke Cage.
Perfect Jessica Jones.
They bodied it. The only one
So-
that was fucking whack,
G bullets.
Oh man,
bum ass fucking
man.
Iron Fist. But beyond that, and then how that whole thing fucked up and people wanted to see them in the MCU and
Right.
still got these like hopes
and they still
dreams.
might still be in the
Yeah,
MCU.
they got like these hopes and dreams. They everything's not going to line up the way you want it to, and there's going to be some problems that's going to pop up. These motherfuckers cannot get comfortable and think we're going to make a cash grab off of every fucking character and just be able to pull up all of these people, man. It sucks that we can't get a full Marvel Venom. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's another whole universe that
Exactly.
would just be
the symbiotes.
if it was
and,
done,
yeah.
if it was done by Marvel Studios alone, it would be crazy.
But they're merging now. I mean, you saw in the Morbius trailer. You know,
Oh my
they're.
God.
Yeah, I mean,
Vulture's in it.
like
So that basically brought in the
like
connection
you
of the
saw that.
MCU into Sony.
it's like you got this perfect recipe and you're putting a couple other ingredients in. Is it gonna make it better or worse? We don't know.
Morbius, listen.
Yep. See you guys next week.
All right, man.
Party nerds out.
Peace.
Party nerds, party nerds, party nerds, party nerds, party nerds, party nerds.